Hey everybody, this is Shawn Sandridge. Thanks for clicking onto my channel. Please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. So this is Newsweek and I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. I'm just going to do like some little headline news. I did Periscope today, so I Periscoped early this morning, so you can still catch it today until tomorrow morning. I guess the 24-hour period will be close to 9:45 in the morning. So just check me out on Periscopes under Shawn Sandridge and see what I had to say about that. So, okay, so I live in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area, and I'm just going to do a quick video on what has happened in my neck of the woods and surrounding areas. So the first thing is they covered the funeral of Lake County Commissioner Roosevelt Allen. He was Lake County Commissioner in handling Lake County area, and his funeral was in Gary, I believe. Yes, St. Timothy Church in Gary. He was beloved by many people, and he died on January 9th due to natural causes. He served 20 years as a Calumet Township board member. He ran unsuccessfully for Gary mayor in 2003 and Lake County coroner in 2004 before winning election in 2006 for the county commissioner seat that was vacated when Rudy Clay was named the Gary mayor. He also served as chairman of the Lake County Public Safety Communications Commissions, which oversees the operation of the county's consolidated E911 service, and represented the county on several regional government boards. He was beloved by many until the day he passed away. He was beloved so much that the current mayor, Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, says that she and other city and county officials are seeking approval to develop a Commissioner Roosevelt Allen Jr. Plaza and erect a statue in his honor. That's pretty neat. That really speaks to, you know, his legacy of what he contributed into the world and for the community, to be beloved by so many people as a public official. That has a lot to say about his character and who he was as a person. So condolences to his family. Okay, so have you been watching the elections or the debates? There's supposed to be the Democratic elections, or I'm sorry, the Democratic debates coming up. I've been watching most of the Republican debates. I watched, I think, all but one, and I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for. I don't know, but I'm getting this information from Parade magazine, and it has here 3 ways the election could change your life. One is healthcare. The future of the Affordable Care Act and how we access and pay for health care is on the ballot. And this is through, it says, the article is Sunday with Chuck Todd, who is the Meet the Press host. So healthcare is huge for most people. Immigration, that's another hot button issue. It says here the next president will decide whether there's a path to citizenship for undocumented folks. Now that's ongoing, especially in the climate today. And whoever is the president next is definitely going to roll out probably legislation and things to come that will affect us not only these 4 years, or if the new president is in the seat for 8 years. That can have a ripple effect for decades. And then the last one is the Supreme Court. It said here, as Congress and the executive branch get more divided, which we've experienced in this president's term, the Supreme Court has become more and more involved in solving political disputes. They're redistricting, they're taking up immigration, they're going on to take up health care, and half of them are over the age of 70. So the makeup of the Supreme Court is on the ballot, which therefore can touch issues you don't even know you're concerned about. So many things that are decisions that are made by judges that we really need to be proactive, and myself included. And you know, it really starts with your local elections. It starts with your local board. You got to get involved. You got to check out these judges. Judges make so many decisions in our lives that unless you're, you know, really paying attention, you don't even know how, you know, laws and things go into effect. I know when I go in, they have these judges' names, and it's saying, do you want them to still stay on term? You get to choose that. If you find out that there's a judge that's corrupt in your opinion, or you feel like there's a judge that is really not taking people's liberties into account, as far as, you know, a heavy-handed judge, you know, you have the right as a voting citizen to not let them stay in office. And so many times we overlook that judges make huge decisions in our day-to-day lives. So that's something to think about. And then, oh, here's another thing. This was in our local paper, The Times, and it has here, Black Lives Matter rally shows solidarity. So there was a vigil in Gary yesterday. Ooh, and it was cold yesterday. And there was a vigil, and it says here that more than a few dozen concerned residents occupied a corner near downtown for Black Lives Matter Northwest Indiana / Gary vigil and rally Saturday for Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old Cleveland boy killed by a police officer while playing with an airsoft replica gun at a park. And they're talking about the meetings and all that. And what is really amazing about this vigil is that there are a lot of people not of color here holding up signs that Black Lives Matter. And I think that's pretty awesome, because if you listen to the news long enough and you hear the rhetoric long enough, and I'm not saying that there isn't some kernel of truth, but if you listen to the rhetoric and the bullet points, if you will, you would think that our country is so racially divided that how are we even existing among ourselves? And that's not necessarily the case. And I was happy to see that, you know, there are people that are not of color that feel that people's lives matter. So that was my takeaway from it. And then the last thing, I'm not going to go into it. I think you should read about it though. And there's the title of the article that says, Obama signs emergency order over Flint water. An inquiry underway into pollution of major river supplying city's water. And you should read about it. I'm going to get a little bit more information myself, but it's the city of Flint, Michigan. The city is riddled with tainted, contaminated water. And it says here that President Barack Obama signed an emergency declaration Saturday that clears the way for federal aid for Flint, Michigan, which is undergoing a drinking water crisis. It's my understanding that the town here was led to believe that the water was drinkable, and it really wasn't. And it says here in the article that the tap water in Flint, population 99,000, became contaminated after the city switched from the Detroit water system to the Flint River while a pipeline to Lake Huron is under construction. The corrosive water lacked adequate treatment and caused lead to leach from old pipes in homes and schools. Flint returned to the Detroit system in October after elevated lead levels were discovered in children and could tap into the new pipeline by summer. And it goes on to end the article. And this is terrible because it says here, the officials remain concerned that old pipes could continue to leach lead, to which exposure can cause behavior problems and learning disabilities in children, as well as kidney ailments in adults. And we all know that Michigan as a state cannot afford financially any more stress. So here you have a city that has been contaminated with water, and the long-standing effects that's going to be to thousands of people in that town. It's awful. And it says here at the end that the National Guard has been distributing free water, filters, and other supplies, and FEMA workers already were provided logistical and technical support. I hope God watches, may God watch over that community, because, you know, lead poisoning is no joke. It's no joke. And it's, like I said, Flint is not, Michigan is not a state that can financially handle any financial stress on them. So I'm really saddened to hear that that town is going through such a horrible thing. That's terrible. And I'm sure more will be told as things go by, but I'm glad that they're getting federal aid for it. So my goal this week is to find some happy news. And I'm hoping, even if it's just silly, frivolous, like a town won some trophy. Incidentally, town of Valparaiso is undergoing a campaign, I guess is nationwide, for the best neighborhoods, and I guess they've made the first round, and then there's another round that cuts them down to 8 towns or cities, and there's a first, second, and third prize, and it's $3 million, $2 million, and $1 million to the town. And I guess the whole thing is to promote, neighborhood reunification, or, building good economic neighborhoods. So good for them. They're in Porter County. So that's good for that town. So I don't have anything good to say. But my goal this week is to find some good news. Newsweek didn't say bad news. So my quest is going to be to have at least one article that's good news, because I want to end on a happy note. You know what I mean? All right. Jumpstart January 2016. I got it in. All right. You have a great night. I'm going to go pick up my son. You enjoy the rest of this evening. Stay warm. You see what I'm wearing, right? Yeah, I had my hair up during Periscope, and then I just said, forget that. I'm going to let my hair be my ear warmers on top of my ear warmer and stay warm. So have a great night. Take care of yourself and each other. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.